you want to start over there?
Excuse me. I'm a little bit ahead of the stage, but I'll do my best. The mediator, my question is directed at you. At the beginning of this event, you stated that you didn't want people coming with facts or ramblings, but you rather only wanted very direct questions. Now, this event was marketed as a conversation on questioning the boycott of Israel, a path to justice, or an obstacle to peace. Now, one would assume that such an event would be a debate where the other side would be represented, and that is the problem. I don't have any problem with anything that was said, but I have a problem with is that this cannot be challenged because no pro-Zionist or Israeli speaker was brought to the table. And that's what we see so often, that when pro-Israeli speakers do come to university, their free speech is infringed upon. So many people try to sabotage this or prevent it, and we see this with all sorts of things, be it abortion issues or any issue that doesn't sit with the political left, they try to suppress it. And we see these one-sided events where only one side is represented, and then we're told not to come with facts and only ask direct questions. So I don't have a problem with anything that was said. I'm not even going to get into it. I just think this whole event's a joke.
Why do you think they refuse to come?
Well, I mean, I did most of the trying to contact people. You might have suggested a few names. It was, of course, short notice, so that is a good reason. But I think the other issue that I was told from colleagues of mine, good colleagues of mine, they weren't so much afraid of Omar, and who would be? I mean, as I insist, there's nothing radical about him or his ideas, but about the kind of polarity that Omar's ideas generate, and that it becomes a shouting match of audience, ad hominem attacks, and so on and so forth, and they would have nothing to do with it. Whether that is an honest sort of response, I take that at face value, and that's good enough for me. I have asked an entire spectrum of colleagues and people I didn't know that were recommended to me, and there was no interest in this. But I do want to insist that to the point, really, of raising questions about the boycott, and I've said, I don't want to repeat myself from my introductory remarks, it is not really about two sides. I think Chandler Davis has pointed to the nuances, even within supporters of various gradations of the boycott. So I think one way to move forward is to accept the nuances of this question and the ambivalences that many of us feel. But
if I may add, just before you leave, just very quickly, because I came from Carleton University where I did manage to have a debate. After Carleton, students invited 11 people who refused to debate me. Finally, one professor at University of Ottawa agreed, and this has been the case at University of California at Berkeley, at Columbia, every single university in North America. The number of people from the Zionist left to the center, to J Street, to APAC, that have refused to debate us on BDS has been staggering. 11 to 1 is the ratio.
And why was it marketed as a debate? That's fine. If nobody wants to come, so why was it marketed as a debate?
It wasn't.
But you're welcome to debate us. I mean, ask any challenging question. Give me any facts that you wish to be aired that you felt I left out. This is the chance to ask any tough questions you have. Really, I invite you.
Do you have a debate? Can you debate
any question you want?
Okay, I'll ask a question.
Debate him.
It's a free country, relatively.
It wasn't until Harper became Prime Minister.
Not that question. On the topic.
I'll ask one question. You spoke about the different segments of the population. The 1.3 living in Israel, the population living in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, and of course the refugees living outside of any definition that is Israel. So and those who know, like, I think if you know that in Lebanon, for example, human rights are extended to all people except for Palestinians. In Syria, I mean, they're held in refugee camps. And I mean, in Kuwait, there was a ban on Palestinian academics at one point, and we see it, like, we see is coming from the Arab
the
world.
question.
And I'm wondering if the BDS has openly or unopenly done anything about that.
Is that a question?
Okay.
No, it's a fair question. I mean, this is the kind of question we have. I have an answer, but or a response.
Okay. Professor Farid Isak, one of the leaders of the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa, was recently in Palestine, and he told us that the exact same question was raised in South Africa, even much worse. That look at other African countries around South Africa. Do you want to be like that? Their human rights record is appalling. So why are you complaining about apartheid? At least you have some decent, government and functioning economy, unlike the devastated state of economies around. It is very highly irrelevant. Why? Because we're talking about the cause and effect. The root cause of this is our dispossession and occupation. Once that ends, we will have no problem in any other Arab country. I cannot possibly defend autocratic dictatorships in any Arab country that are committing horrendous violations of human rights, not just against Palestinians, against their own citizens. And I would sign any petition calling for a boycott of Saudi Arabia, of Egypt, of any country over their record of human rights violations. I'm a human rights activist and I'm morally consistent. So I'm not going to defend any of these dictatorships. But how is that relevant? Israel has dispossessed us and occupied us. We want our rights, and we should get our rights, regardless how our refugees are treated elsewhere. Jewish refugees of World War II were not treated very well by this country that said one Jew is one too many. The Zionist and anti-Semitic leadership of this country then wanted them all to go to Palestine, to get rid of them. And the US and most of Western Europe, they were not very welcome. Does that give Nazi Germany an excuse? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We have to deal with root causes.